This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As usual, I'll be giving just a minute to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. But even as you guys keep coming in, just want to ask, how have you guys been? It is noon, those at work. How has work been? Just working at home remotely. Hope you guys are really enjoying it. Okay, like I said 1 minute ago, I guess I will just take it up from here, even as more people keep joining us. Good afternoon once again and welcome. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, my name is Kagba Esahaya, and I'm one of the training coordinators with the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small business start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to no-cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Centers, which has over 1,000 networks across the United States. We're here this afternoon for a webinar on fighting food insecurity and empowering independent business through SNAP. A copy of the PowerPoint and the link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your questions on the Q&A or the chat box. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome these two wonderful, great presenters, even as it takes over the flow for the presentation. Dan and Mario, you guys are welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here. It means a lot to us. We'll get a few more seconds for everyone to settle in, but I want to let everyone know beforehand, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the chat box or Q&A functions on Zoom. We will answer any questions toward the end of the presentation. Alrighty, so let's get started. Thank you all once again. I'm Dan. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO at Everyday Web. Today we'll be talking about fighting food insecurity and empowering independent businesses through Snap Online. Let's get started. Before we jump in, I want to quickly introduce ourselves. I'm Dan, and my co-founder Mario, pictured here, are both local Philadelphians. We met right before COVID-19 and bonded over being two freelancers that help small businesses get online. We realized that digital marketing agencies did not work with many small businesses, typically due to budget and tech limitations. When the pandemic hit, we realized that small businesses impacted the most were Black and brown businesses, people who look like us. That's when we really knew we had to do this. So we launched Everyday Web. We provide affordable digital marketing services to local small businesses. Think of things like e-commerce stores, websites, and social media marketing, just to name a few. Initially, when we first started, we wanted to help restaurants in particular, those that were impacted by COVID-19, help them get new websites and fulfill online orders. We asked local leaders if they could help us get in contact with local restaurant owners. But then they told us of a much bigger problem. Restaurants were already adapting digital, and thanks to stimulus, consumers were spending more on online shopping. However, there was one group severely impacted by COVID-19, food insecure citizens. And that's what got us here today. So today we're going to share more about the problem we found, how it deeply impacts our city, and what we think we can do to put an end to food insecurity. Before we get started, I want to stress that I'm not an expert in food distribution, SNAP benefits, supply chains, or any of that really. I'm here simply to share our learnings from the last few months to show you how we're taking action. So, what is food insecurity? The USDA defines food insecurity as a lack of consistent access for an active and healthy life. It is important to know that though food insecurity and hunger are closely related, they're distinct concepts. Hunger refers to personal, physical sensation of discomfort, while food insecurity refers to a lack of available financial resources for food at the household level. So who's really impacted by food insecurity? Well, you can't really understand food insecurity without understanding whom it's impacting the most. To no surprise, food insecurity impacts low-income households the most. According to the USDA, food insecurity rates are highest for single mother households with incomes below the poverty line. Food insecurity is a shared problem between multiple ethnicities in all kinds of areas. Sometimes people believe that this is an inner city problem, but food insecurity actually impacts people in metropolitan areas, suburban areas, and rural areas as well. Let's look at how food insecurity impacts citizens in Philadelphia. So unfortunately, in Philadelphia, the situation is just about twice as bad. In cases of hunger and food insecurity, Philly is at almost double the national average, double. As you can see here, food insecurity can really be a matter of where you live in Philadelphia. Depending on where you live, you might not have easy access to groceries, but the problem is really more dynamic. Let's say you even are close to a grocery store. The odds that the food is priced affordably for someone who is dependent on SNAP is really low. Factor in additional costs like transportation, and things get even more expensive. So let's back up for a second. To better understand food insecurity, we need to look at the key players in the ecosystem. Now, obviously, there are many more hands involved when it comes to getting food from farm to table. Let's look at this from a high level. We'll focus on the government, federal, state, and local, supermarket chains, independent grocery stores, convenience stores, technology, and of course, food insecure citizens. All right, so the government. Government plays perhaps the biggest role in fighting food insecurity overall. So we have federal agencies like the USDA that are tasked with ensuring that America is fed. Government helps shape economic policy surrounding food insecurity. They fund initiatives and create programs to combat food insecurity. From a state and local level, the government is very powerful too. States can disperse funding to food insecure citizens, use their reach to expand awareness of initiatives, and even make grants available to organizations that aim to fight food insecurity. At a local level, governments have power as well to influence things like zoning, which plays a big role in bringing in grocery stores to certain areas. They collect much needed data and also offer relief programs to citizens. Supermarket chains. So if you're like most Americans, you're primarily getting your groceries from a supermarket. Supermarket, as defined here, is a large service retail market that sells food and household goods. They're obviously massive and can have operations locally, nationally, or even globally. When it comes to fighting food insecurity, supermarkets typically have the most resources and reach to reach most citizens. Then there's independent grocers. The USDA defines independent grocery stores as food retail establishments whose owners operate fewer than 4 outlets at the same time. So they can serve regional citizens, but they're typically not national or global. And finally, we have convenience stores. Convenience stores are retail stores that carry a limited selection of basic items, such as packaged food, drugstore items, and typically open long hours for the convenience of shoppers. You might stop at a convenience store for quick trips. They're in your neighborhoods, stocked with essentials. You might be familiar with them through other names such as bodegas, corner stores, or mini marts. Technology. Technology in the digital age is very important. Consumers are able to shop online for just about anything. Tech companies like Amazon are able to connect with consumers both offline and online, giving them an edge. Tech plays a pivotal role when it comes to fighting food insecurity, but more on that later. And last but not least, food insecure citizens. This is where the buck stops. As we discussed earlier, food insecurity impacts millions of Americans every day. Food insecure citizens come from all walks of life, and since food insecurity is looked at the household level, it's important to realize that many citizens have slipped into food insecurity because they have more mouths to feed. Enter SNAP and EBT. SNAP replaced food stamps and is our biggest weapon against fighting food insecurity. You've probably seen SNAP at local grocery stores, convenience stores, or even online by now. But what is SNAP? SNAP is undoubtedly the largest initiative the federal government has come up with to feed food insecure citizens in the USA. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and is again the nation's largest domestic food and nutrition assistance program for low-income Americans. SNAP and EBT. So SNAP and EBT are sometimes used interchangeably. EBT just stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer. It is an electronic system that allows a SNAP participant to pay for food using SNAP benefits. So you've probably seen an EBT card. That's what people are pretty much using at grocery stores right now. And so when a participant shops at a SNAP authorized retail store, the SNAP EBT account is debited to reimburse the store for food that was purchased. EBT is in use in all 50 states, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Guam. EBT has been the sole method of SNAP issuance in all states since June of 2004. So now that we know a little bit about SNAP, let's look at the numbers. How many people are actually on SNAP? Over 41 million Americans benefited from SNAP last year. In Pennsylvania, about 1 in 7 people are on SNAP. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. SNAP is the reason why many working families can typically keep food on the table. It's very important for our system and our society. However, a problem can quickly turn into a crisis. Obviously, COVID-19 damaged the system, changed our lives forever. And now amidst COVID-19, things were taken to the extreme. When grocery shopping became a health risk, consumers stopped coming to grocery stores, right? People relied on services like Instacart to get their essentials from supermarkets. But for millions, online grocery shopping and delivery were far too expensive. The USDA acted quickly, speeding up an initiative called the SNAP Pilot Program, which aimed to bring SNAP online state by state. As of today and very recently, every state is eligible to accept SNAP online. Before moving on further, I just want to take a second here to pause and acknowledge the swift action by the USDA and the many, many people who continue to keep grocery stores running. They were so essential during the pandemic at its worst, and we're very thankful for people who kept things running. From the farmers who grew our food, the distributors who brought the food to our shelves, the employees who stocked the shelves, everyone stepped up during the time of crisis. And luckily, we're still here and able to access grocery stores, convenience stores, and more, thanks to their hard work. Bringing it back to the SNAP Pilot Program. What is the SNAP Pilot Program? The SNAP Online Purchasing Pilot allows households in participating states, now all 50 states, to use their SNAP benefits to purchase grocery stores online from authorized participating retailers. Now, the key words here are those last few words right there, authorized participating retailers. At Everyday Web, we believe that SNAP Pilot Program has a chance to go down as one of the most significant and impactful initiatives in recent history. But it begs the question, who is an authorized participating retailer and how do you become one? Well, to no surprise, the mega corporations that run the largest, most sophisticated grocery operations in the world became the first authorized participating retailers. Now, in fairness to them, their size and scope helps millions of people get access to groceries conveniently and affordably every day, especially during the pandemic. I'm sure a lot of us spent a lot of money on Amazon during the pandemic, and they were definitely there to deliver goods for us. Every major chain, Amazon, Walmart, Kroger, Albertson, Giant, Aldi, you name it, they were all able to adapt quickly to SNAP Online. And obviously because they're the biggest and they have the most resources. So real quickly, here's Amazon's SNAP landing page. As you can see here, you can add your SNAP EBT card, shop for groceries, and enter your PIN to see what items are eligible for SNAP. Here's Walmart's. You can pay online using your EBT card at checkout. You can get pickup and more. Here's Kroger's. They use SNAP EBT for pickup right now, but we foresee that they expand that to delivery as well in the near future. And many, many more mid-market grocery stores are joining SNAP Online as we speak. However, let's get to the real crux of the problem. SNAP online access isn't a straight line. Supermarkets can afford to pivot easily. They have the resources to adapt and have built their own custom solutions. But it's not so easy for independent grocers and convenience stores. So that begs the question, why can't independent grocers and convenience stores get access to SNAP online? And it basically boils down to three big things: a high compliance bar, price, and unequal access to opportunities. So high compliance bar. Well, SNAP pilot program requirements are often too technical for smaller operations. Obviously, Amazon and Walmart, they have in-house developers and large teams. The compliance bar was very simple for them to pass. They already have tech solutions in place, so very easy for them. So let's look at some of the requirements. Now, I won't read out the full requirements here. It's all available on the USDA's website if you'd like to see afterwards. But just a few things I want to take notice of. Notice point number 2 here. The firm has an e-commerce presence. And many of the other requirements you see on point 3 are minimum requirements that every SNAP online retailer must follow. One example of this is called split tender. Since SNAP does not cover all items, split tender transactions differentiate SNAP eligible items and non-SNAP eligible items, and for things like delivery fees. So for example, a local grocer not only needs a website, but payments technology that lets them separate SNAP and non-SNAP items. Pretty hard stuff if you ask me. On to the next part, price. So with high compliance comes a high price, right? Investing in a new e-commerce store takes a significant investment. Many end-to-end solutions are priced way too high for independent grocers and convenience stores. Factoring things like costs for upkeep and training staff need to be factored in as well. And so what this does is creates unequal access. Not only is it harder for independent grocers to get online, but funding, partnerships, and all guidance are dominated by supermarkets right now. The worst part is supermarkets who offer SNAP online aren't typically the ones who serve food insecure citizens, right? They offer high-priced products, delivery can be too far away, resulting in even higher costs, and they often don't serve the taste of citizens in predominantly food insecure areas. For supermarkets, this is simply incremental revenue that they can add on to their existing operations. According to a report by Healthy Eating Research, participation in the online purchasing pilot is dominated by the largest grocery retailers like Amazon and Walmart. They are the top revenue generating grocery retailers in the US and control more than 50% of the entire online grocery market in the US. These retailers are operational in all approved states and for a brief time were the only available option for some states. So let's take a look at some online presences of local independent grocery stores and convenience stores. Now, my intent is not to be too critical, but to show you real life examples that are up to date. As you can see here, this supermarket here, which has 3 locations in the Philly, Jersey area, has an outdated website with just some basic information of food, right? You can't really order, see coupons, circulars, you can't see new items, stock counts, or really anything else. It's just simply here to show you basic information. And then some convenience stores, actually most convenience stores don't have any online presence at all. I'm actually based here in the Spring Garden area of Philadelphia. This is actually an amazing convenience store right on my corner. Unfortunately, they have no online presence really whatsoever. At most, they have this Google My Business page, which kind of just helps you see when they're open and where they're located, but no mention of products in stock or online ordering or anything like that. Lastly, here's an example of a relatively large independent grocer. You might be familiar with NetCost, especially if you're from Northeast Philadelphia. The website is great. There's online ordering, you can see circulars, digital coupons. You can place online orders as well. But as you can see here in the fine print, they can't accept SNAP online. Due to government regulations, EBT cards are only accepted in store. So basically, if you're a EBT recipient, SNAP recipient, you'd have to come into NetCost, which is probably not in your area anyways, to use SNAP and EBT in store. So bringing that all back together, we can kind of realize here that the role of independent grocers and convenience stores is very pivotal. They need a seat at the table. It's not just about SNAP. These key members of the ecosystem know their community really well. Let's explore how. So first up, they provide products that you can only get from them and cater to specific tastes in a neighborhood. For many immigrant communities, independent grocers and convenience stores are the only place where you can get specific dishes that their families will love. NetCost is an example, H-Mart is another example, Patel Brothers. There are many independent grocers that service specific tastes. Speaking of immigrants, many of these independent grocers are immigrant owned and operated. It doesn't matter if you're Italian, Indian, Korean, Russian, chances are the local grocers you frequent were created by immigrants. A local example of this is Bell's Market and Cousins Grocers. These are two examples of immigrant grocery stores that know their community really, really well. The funny thing is that almost every independent grocer and every convenience store already offers SNAP in store. They have been crucial for fighting insecurity for years already. They simply haven't adapted to the digital though. And last but not least, and probably most importantly, independent grocers and convenience stores are highly accessible, both from a financial and a geographical perspective. Thousands of these stores exist throughout the city and provide affordable products in convenient locations that supermarkets simply don't service. You can find them on any corner. They have tons and tons of items, and they're all over the city and all over the country, really. So going back to SNAP Online, SNAP Online can really drive real business outcomes. For a business, it can mean investing in their storefront or getting software, access to higher quality produce, or even paying higher wages for their employees. However, as you can see from this chart here, USDA SNAP beneficiaries, they don't spend their money on convenience stores online or independent grocery stores either. They spend the bulk of it at supermarkets. Now, keep in mind here, this chart is from 2019. The USDA recently released its annual report from 2021. And in it, they exposed redemptions, and now convenience stores make up just about 5% of this entire market share, while small and medium grocery stores have dwindled even further down. They make up a combined 2.75% market share of online SNAP purchases. So think about that. In 2019, convenience stores had 6%, grocery stores at 10%, and now they've plummeted, right? The grocery stores are now at 2.75. Convenience stores went down a percentage to 5% now. So it just goes to show you that the divide is growing even further. So that was a lot to cover, obviously. We've talked about a lot of different things. Let's bring it back to food insecurity. Are things getting better? What does the future look like for independent grocers and convenience stores? How can we help solve this? We believe that if things keep going on as is, food insecurity will only grow worse. Now, so far, everything we've discussed does not even include the recent impacts of inflation. Produce is getting even more expensive, and people are quite literally starving. Now, food insecurity is a highly dynamic problem. It covers things like race relations, redlining, funding access, and so much more. No one entity can solve food insecurity. It will really take a concerted effort by many key players from government, grocery stores, technologists, and many, many more. At Everyday Web, we posit that in order to fight food insecurity, independent grocery stores and convenience stores need to compete online and get SNAP online. We believe this will create a positive domino effect. If they have access to SNAP online, they can grow online just like the big guys. With more revenue, they can make investments into their business, improve produce quality, and hire more staff. And when consumers have greater digital tools, they can shop conveniently, intelligently, they can order from more local grocers and see their SNAP benefits digitally, anytime, anywhere, in the comfort of their mobile or smartphone. So if the grocery stores, government, tech, and citizens all come together, I believe that we can kick food insecurity's ass. So let's bring it back again. Let's look at government, right? How can the key players in the ecosystem adapt? Now, government plays a huge role, as we talked about earlier. Problems like this really require the help of the government, right? No one institution has the resources, the reach, like the government. The government has made very big strides recently in food insecurity, but we think more needs to be done to make SNAP online more equitable. Now, the government has been expanding SNAP to cover other necessities, which is a great sign. If more funding and more awareness was brought to independent grocers, we believe that change will occur more rapidly. Grocers. So grocers obviously play a really big part as well. If they're currently not online, let's be honest, they face a grave danger. We believe it's okay for them to start small by simply creating an online e-commerce presence, learning more about the problem, and applying for grants and funding to help them invest in SNAP online. Easier said than done, but it can be done. In tech, as I mentioned earlier, tech plays a really big role, and I believe that tech will play an even bigger role in the coming months and years. Tech will have an expanded role in fighting food insecurity. As of now, as discussed, every supermarket has their own custom tech solution, and now we're seeing mid-market grocers have options on the market as well, such as eGrocery, Instacart, and Rosie. They all offer SNAP online and help mid-market grocers. However, again, more needs to be done to make tech accessible. The high cost of SNAP online need to be lowered to make this available to more grocery stores immediately. So how can you get involved? Well, it's very easy nowadays. There are many great organizations out there. Organizations like Fooding Forward, Sunday Love Project, Broad Street Ministry, the Mitzvah Food Program, DOPE, which stands for Doing Our Part Eclectically, Welcome Bread, or Caring for Friends, just to name a few organizations in the city of Philadelphia who are constantly fighting food insecurity every day. And aside from that, you can also donate food, obviously, to local community fridges, which have easy access in many areas, and even food banks. A powerful thing you can also do as a citizen is write a letter to your local elected officials, see what their plan is in fighting food insecurity, and see if we can make this a more urgent problem so that we can get things done quicker. So what are we doing about it? Again, I want to stress, we're not food insecurity experts, but we're really committed to learning more, and we don't want to stand still. For months, Everyday Web spoke with local leaders, grocery store owners, organizations, and key members of the ecosystem. Since we first started, creating affordable digital marketing has been at our core. Our greatest skill is being able to help businesses get online affordably. And today, thanks to our partnership with CardKnox, I'm happy to announce that Everyday Web will now support convenience stores and independent grocers in the city of Philadelphia. Through our partnership, we can unlock the power of SNAP online for independent grocers and convenience stores all across the city. A little bit about CardKnox. CardKnox is a SNAP compliant PCI compliant, which means payment card industry. So every payment is secure. They integrate with e-commerce platforms right now, like WooCommerce, and they offer a powerful API and even eWIC. We haven't talked much about WIC today, but WIC provides specific amounts and types of approved foods and formulas primarily for mothers with young children. This helps babies get the nutrition they need at infancy and live healthy lives while relieving mothers of financial pressures. And CardKnox offers this through their API. They've been around since 1996. They already work with a number of convenience stores nationwide. They're on future advisory boards of some of the biggest players in the ecosystem, such as Pfizer and the USDA. Through our partnership, we'll have access to all future SNAP updates, which we can then pass down to local grocers, convenience store owners, and more, so that they're always in the loop. And once again, they've been doing this a long time. They work in person, so SNAP recipients can use CardKnox payments both in-store and online. I really want to take a second to thank them. Their guidance along the way has been super helpful. We've learned so much about SNAP online, payments, and how to make sure that any grocer, any independent convenience store has the access to be online affordably. We really couldn't do it without CardKnox. Here's a quick demo. This is Dan, co-founder of Everyday Web. Today I'm going to show you just a quick demo supermarket store that we made. Basically, if you're joining the SNAP pilot program, you'll have something like this. The idea really is to start off with a simple online store for your grocery store or convenience store. That way, customers can start shopping right away. They can order pickup. They can pay online. They can see new promos, circulars, new products, all that sort of things. All those sort of things, with an online store. You even be able to do email marketing with an online store. So always keeping your customer in the loop. Just a nice way to kind of have what the big guys got, right? Online shopping, online grocery store. It's very common nowadays, whether there's Instacart, Amazon, Walmart, you name it. We believe that independent grocers are so vital to their community. If you go to any neighborhood in Philadelphia or anywhere really, independent grocery stores are very important, convenience stores as well. They help feed us, necessities, all those things are there. SNAP and EBT are already available in stores, so we can't wait for it to be online. So without further ado, let me just skip ahead and show you what this looks like. So as this is your store, you have something like this. Obviously, it's the demo, so fake products, fake pricing, but let's go to popcorn, add that to our cart. And just for time's sake, I'll just show you the quick version. So let me go to checkout. I won't add too many products or anything like that. Make it real simple. Then I'll go to billing details, fill that out. Any type of order notes. So if your customer says, hey, I'll be outside, my name is Dan, I'm wearing a black shirt, you might be at the counter and see them and say, hey, come on in, here's your pickup order. And so now that we're partnered with CardKnox, basically what you would be able to do now is accept online payments, number one. We highly recommend them. They're PCI compliant, and they have a great partnership with Pfizer and the USDA, which will allow SNAP and EBT to become online within the coming months. So definitely want to make sure your customers are checking out with CardKnox. Get accustomed to that. I'm just going to enter some dummy info. Let's see here. Then, there we go. 24, 3, sample card, place that order. It's gonna take a few seconds to the demo site. And there you have it. So simple as that, pretty much self-explanatory, right? We all know how online shopping works. We want to make that simple for you, for your customers, ultimately bring you more revenue, become, closer connected to your community offline. So many benefits of being online. We definitely believe that this should be accessible to any business owner, even if they have SNAP or not. We'll try to get as many merchants online with SNAP, but obviously it's kind of above us, but we'll be there every step of the way to kind of help push that and make that a reality. What we really want to see is the USDA realize that independent grocers, convenience stores are crucial to local economies, to fixing food insecurity, child hunger, all of those things. So we want to show them that, hey, there's tons and tons of local grocers just like you who want SNAP Online, who want to participate. Now we found a way to make our store PCI compliant, make it SNAP compliant. So that way you'll be able to easily and legally accept all the new revenue online coming through SNAP and EBT, making a real impact in your community, and hopefully, serving your community customers better and loving the experience as well. So thanks again for watching this. Definitely open to feedback, and want to make sure if you're part of the SNAP pilot program that we're learning from you, right? We want to make sure that. All right, that was a quick rundown. Always interesting hearing yourself talk. A little awkward, of course, but the point remains, right? We want to make sure that any grocer, regardless of size, has access to an e-commerce presence, that they can compete online, get SNAP online, just like the big guys, right? And every website that we make will be card not enabled, so they can accept SNAP Online, WIC Online. These websites will be completely owned by the grocers themselves, so they won't have to rely on channels like Instacart or somebody else's solution. And this would be a great new sales channel for them. And we talked about this before, but with this new revenue, who knows what could happen? People can invest in multiple locations, get more customers, and overall, we think this will really ignite the community. And without further ado, I'm pleased to announce the Everyday Web Partner Program. So the first 5 applicants for independent grocers or convenience stores can get a free turnkey e-commerce store. So a little bit about that. This is obviously a learning process. We want to make sure that this is accessible for a lot of grocers everywhere, but it's crucial to us to really learn more about the overall ecosystem. And so we really want to learn from the first 5 applicants, help them get online, learn as much as possible from onboarding to delivering a great customer experience for SNAP recipients, and so much more. So if you have your phone out, I encourage you to take a quick picture of that, scan that. If you're a grocer yourselves, you can apply today. Or if you're a partner or an organization, feel free to scan as well. We can get in contact afterwards. The goal really is to connect to communities, get in front of as many independent grocery stores, convenience stores as possible. There's literally thousands in the entire city. So we're really looking forward to helping as many as possible. And this referral program, I think is going to be huge. If you know anyone, or if you even find a convenience store yourself, feel free to scan this and let us know, and we'll make sure you're adequately rewarded for that as well. So really excited about this, and hope you all are too. All right, so that was about 35 minutes or so. I want to remind everybody that there's questions at the end. Looking forward to answering all of your questions. Just want to say once again that in order to fight food insecurity, it really will take a concerted effort, and I'm hoping all the key players in the ecosystem continue to work together to eradicate food insecurity. We're trying our best to do our part, and we're hoping we can really knock this thing out. So without further ado, I will open it up to questions. Again, use the chat or the Q&A option there, and I'll be happy to answer them.
So just real quick, Tim wasn't able to access the links through scanning, so we'll basically just send you the link once the meeting and everything is completed.
Okay, awesome.
If you're not able to access it, if you could just drop in your email in the chat, and we'll send that information over to you.
I know that was a lot, but any questions? Let's see. Nothing just yet, but we'll give it a few moments. If not, no worries. Hopefully you all learned something here today. The goal really is to kind of spark that conversation and learn a little bit more about the entire ecosystem. So I hope you did a good job of that. But yeah, again, we'll send you all this deck. We'll definitely open up to questions and are available anytime. Oh, so we have a question here. Kim asks, is this for Philly or only in Pittsburgh? Or is it only for Philly? I'm in Pittsburgh. So no, this is not only for Philly. We obviously are Philadelphia based, but yeah, since you're in Pittsburgh, we'd love to open the conversation and also help you out as well. So it's yes, to answer your question, yes, we can help out in Pittsburgh. We want to take it state by state just to kind of learn, but obviously Pittsburgh is in PA, so that shouldn't be a problem at all.
Somebody has something. Let's see. So Tiffany asks, I'm in the process of developing a slowly online local grocery store. Would you also be able to assist with that, or do I need to already be established? Elderly EBT recipients are my main customer base.
Well, to quickly answer your question, Tiffany, yeah, we can definitely help out with that. Even if you have an existing storefront, or if you're just kind of building it out now, it's not too late. You can always apply and be, on that program for the first 5. So I highly encourage applying today. We can help out. Let's see, elderly. Okay, so awesome. Elderly EBT recipients are your main customers. Makes sense. We'd love to help out any way possible. So yeah, apply and we'll get back to you.
Quick one, please. Even as we still wait for 1 or 2 questions, this goes to our wonderful attendees. I did posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. Remember, we at Tempo SPDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us in improving the services we provide to you guys at a low cost. And this is being required by our funders. So kindly take 30 seconds of your time and help us to fill out the survey link, please. I think I may just post it for the second time. For those of you that didn't see it the first time I posted it. How many, please? Yes. I just posted it for the second time, please. We still have a couple of minutes left. So please, if you have 1 or 2 questions, kindly feel free and drop it in either the Q&A or the chat box. And Dan and Mario are here to nail it. We'll probably give like 3 more minutes to see if anything will pop up before we wrap it for the day.
Awesome. And I just want to say that, if there's any questions you think of afterwards, feel free to email either myself or Mario. It's dan@everydayweb.co or mario@everydayweb.co. We're here anytime. We can answer your questions whenever. Another question is, oh, sorry, go on, Mario.
No, I was gonna say the question. So Tim asked, would a WordPress site be able to accept Snap?
Yes, that's an amazing question. Probably something I should have covered already. The short answer is yes. WordPress plus WooCommerce, which is basically an e-commerce integration. So basically, and thanks to CardKnox. By the way, Preston Glenn from CardKnox is in attendance as well. He can answer any payment questions as well if you have, but he's been super helpful to us. So basically, with WooCommerce connected to WordPress, connected to CardKnox, yes, you can accept Snap Online and just accept payments online in general. So yeah, we're really excited about working with WordPress.
So just to kind of recap that question real quick too,
yeah.
The demo site that Dan actually displayed was built on WordPress using WooCommerce. So
right.
Just to give you an example of like how that process might look like for you.
Okay, guys, I guess I will just give 1 minute to see if anything pops up.
Sure.
Nothing pops up after 1 minute, I guess we'll just wrap it up for the day. Excuse me. But even as we still wait for the 1 minute, I just want to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you guys for keeping it a day with us. I did say something that today I have two great presenters. And of course, I am very sure that you guys can attest to it that the presentation was superb. I love the way everything flowed. It was more or less like an interactive sections. I saw a lot of questions actually came up on board, and my great presenters were able to nail it. Dan and Mario, thank you for a wonderful presentation. And of course, before I wrap it up, just want to use this opportunity to thank my fellow colleagues at Temple SPDC. Remember, without them, we wouldn't have been here, of course, and the webinar wouldn't have come into existence. I want to thank you guys for your usual cooperation, for your encouragement, and every other assistance. I guess since I've exhausted my 1 minute and nothing has actually popped up from my end, yes, we'll just call it up for the day. Thank you guys, and do enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for attending.
Yes, miss.